got this house drawn here and I'd like to fill it with some hatching. So I'll come up to the draw ribbon, choose the boundary hatch command. I'm going to set some of the options right off the bat. First, I want to choose my island detection. And in this case, if I ignore islands, the hatching will cover up all of my text. So I'm going to switch it to nested islands. In this case, the hatching will start at the boundary, work its way in until it hits another boundary, and then stop. I'll come over and choose the pattern I'd like. For example, this line work. And then I can set some of the scale and angle options as well. To insert my hatching, I have a couple of selection options. If I choose select entities, it'll let me pick individual entities in my drawing, and they'll become the border or boundary for my hatching. But in this case, I have a closed object. It's created with individual line segments, but it is closed. So I can just simply choose select area and then click inside my boundary or inside my object. And I'll hit enter. Maybe I wasn't too happy with that pattern. Again, we can see the hatching. It started at the boundary and worked its way in until it hits an object and then stopped. Now if I want to edit this hatch, maybe I'm not happy with this pattern, I can select the hatching and double click to bring up the options dialog again. I'm going to turn on the preview option this time so that any changes I make will be updated in the drawing. If I come over to the pattern, maybe I want to choose a brick pattern. You can load any PAT file, even from other CAD engines, but there's a wide variety of hatching patterns to choose from by default. So we can see now that the brick pattern scaling is quite off because I can only see a few individual bricks. So maybe I'll come over to the pattern and try and find a better scale. So I will go over to the pattern properties and adjust the scale accordingly. We can see the pattern's updated right in the drawing because I've got the preview option selected. I can adjust the rotation as well. In this case, I'll just keep it facing east. If I turn on annotative, that will allow the scaling of the hatching to be affected by my annotation scale in the drawing. If I leave it off, it'll stay fixed. If I turn on the associative option, that will allow me to move the house text or any object that's inside of my hatching, and the hatching will update accordingly. So the area where the house text used to be located will be filled with the hatch pattern, and the artificial boundary surrounding the text will be accepted at its new location. If I'm happy with the options I've got set, I can hit OK, and now my hatching is complete.